What is up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast. This one, we're gonna have some fun, and by fun, we're gonna be a little mad. That was bad. That was
Horrible.
terrible. That was a nightmare. It was a terrible, no good, awful, bad day. Whatever that book is that we read as a kid. It was about as bad as it could have gone. We've got some stats for you to talk about it. Mets had a nightmare in Seattle, sleepless in Seattle. That's how it felt. We just midnight Mets. No vibes, no juice, no nothing. Literally almost no runs. Almost no runs. I'll save the yelling and the ranting for when we do our little 5-minute timer here because we're going to do a 5-minute rant and then we're going to talk baseball. But we got to get the bat out. Now that we don't work for the team, we can do this, so we have to do it. But yeah, if you guys enjoy what you like over here, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel over at the Mets'd podcast. If you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, subscribe. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Mets'd on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. James, should we just get going right into it, or you have anything to say before we let the people go?
Why waste time here? We're only going to put 5 minutes on the clock, and then we'll do the real podcast. But 5 minutes, emotion.
Are you in charge of the 5-minute timer here?
I'm in charge of the 5-minute timer. You guys are going to see the timer if you're watching on YouTube, and the timer is going to start right now. That was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my fucking life. In terms of baseball, in terms of Mets baseball, in terms of all baseball, in terms of any single fucking sport I've ever watched a team play at any point in any regular season, that was despicably bad. There's not one glimmer of anything good to take out of anything just happened in the last 3 days.
I'm going to use an SAT word, not one modicum of goodness in that entire series. It was bad from the start, bad from the finish. Like, they literally got embarrassed. Scoring 1 run in 3 games that's bad. I know the Mariners pitching is good, but we have a good offense. Where the fuck did it go? Where is everybody? Brandon Nimmo is lost. And I like Brandon Nimmo. My feelings of him as a player haven't changed. But, dude, what the fuck, man? Where are you? Where's Pete Alonso? Where's JD Martinez? He has disappeared. Francisco Alvarez has taken major steps back right now. He is in trouble, I think, right now in terms of what we're seeing at the major league level. Lindor at least straightened it out a little bit, but he looked horrible in some of these games, and he made that error, and that everybody had the worst body language in the world. Like, I understand they've been on a tough road trip, and this team's not trying to make excuses, but, like, holy shit, what was that? That was a despicable performance.
It was bad body language. It was no response to adversity.
Nothing.
There was no creativity of anybody involved. It was actually literally fucking miserable stop to finish. Staying up till 10 o'clock to watch these games. Of course, again, there's no entitlement here of fandom. Staying up to watch those games and then not even putting together one good at bat. Not being able to get out of any fucking jams. Alfonso Rivas putting a ball through the fucking hole. How the fuck does that happen?
What the Leo Rivas. Even worse. That guy was not a major leaguer. Alfonso Rivas had like 2 seasons.
How could Victor Robles be tormenting us right now? What the fuck? Out of the fucking woodwork? Why isn't he on this team? How did he get the waivers to them? What the fuck just happened for 3 games? And again, of course, these pitchers are amazing. Luis Castillo is fucking awesome. Bryce Miller is disgustingly good. It doesn't matter. You can't score no runs. You can't.
What about the bullpen? The bullpen, that was like their kind of thing that they were like a little worried about. It was like, oh, our bullpen has been a little bit shaky at times. Couldn't touch anybody in the bullpen. I thought we got a gift from God when they pulled Bryce Miller early in game 1. I was like, oh my God, thank you. They got base runners on. Shit it right away.
We spent the whole series, we didn't get one hit runner in scoring position. Saturday, we didn't get the runner in scoring position. Now one guy got to fucking second place in the whole baseball game. You know how hard that is to not get batted second base in a baseball game? It's impossible. How often can that even happen?
It's crazy. The 1 run came from Jeff McNeil on a home run. If you were a betting man, you wouldn't have been like, if the Mets are going to score 1 run this series, how would it happen? Francisco Lindor home run, Pete Alonso home run, doubles, triples. Jeff McNeil home run? Love Jeff. He's been hot. But oh my God, he's the only guy swinging the bat seemingly well right now. Everybody is playing super bad. The defense was not good this series either. The pitching was not sharp whatsoever. The bullpen at times was okay, at times not. Like, this was a sleepwalking series, and I pray to God that this was just a factor of being stuck on this crazy road trip. They're exhausted. Whatever it is, it's still a shit excuse. I think it's still super lame. Other teams travel. You can't say that shit. But at the same time, I'm hoping that's it because the season starts. It's happening. You can't lose games now. We got gifts from the fucking Rockies beating the Braves too. We could have separated ourselves from the Braves a little bit more. We could have closed the gap between the Padres and the Diamondbacks didn't lose, but the Padres lost a game. It's unfathomable how bad they played.
It's a realization that the momentum is over. Every
Yes,
single good thing that happened for the last 2 months,
done.
now we're officially standing still again. We need to get an object in motion back in motion. We need some inertia. We need Isaac Newton's fucking third law of motion, whichever law it was. But with this, it's over. Everything good that happened has stopped. We're standing still, and now there's 44 games left in the season. You have to just win. Like, would you say, boy, you have to win 26 out of 44 games.
This,
You
this the
you have to
series, the
survive right now.
season, yeah, the season is 0-0 starting tonight. It's 0-0. You need to win 26 games. Get to 26, you make the playoffs. You win any less than that, you're giving it up to the chance of the baseball gods who always constantly say, "Hey Mets, fuck you. Baseball gods hate you. We don't want to help you. We gave you Bill Buckner. You get nothing else in your life ever again. We gave you that. You got to win 26 of these last 44. If you don't, the season is over. You will be sent home and you will be the laughingstock of Major League Baseball again."
But past that, it's the shit that we were giving them so much credit for the last few months that was not going well this series. People were not picking each other up. There
Nope.
was not good body language. There was not good at bats.
Bad language.
Pitchers were not working hard to get through these at bats. Like, it was over and over again. Jose Iglesias fell down trying to swing.
Yeah,
Like, the
I
whole
mean, like,
the whole thing up and down. And Lindor makes the error. And what they didn't call an error is bullshit
it was an
hometown
error.
scoring on that
Yeah.
one. It's insane. They gave him a hit and RBI, charged him to earn run Severino on that. But that happened. It seemed like the entire team slunked their shoulders, which is bad. That can't happen. He can't make the error, but everyone else can't die too. Like, you can't. We have 15 seconds left. You can't let this whole thing spiral out of control because the team spiraled once and then they got back. It's
Yes.
scary that this team is so deep in these streaks they can't get out of them. They can't just play consistent day in day out baseball because again, now motion has stopped.
Yeah.
It's over, and now 5 minutes. Now you have to play the season. Now you
Okay.
have to play baseball, and now you have to find your way. All right.
Yeah,
let's
and
take a breath.
now take a breath. Everybody, 5 seconds. 5 seconds. I hope you listening in the car, at work, watching on YouTube, whatever it is. Deep breathing exercise with us, just in and out, in and out. Because here is the bullshit that you don't want to hear, but I'm going to tell you. There's still only a half game out. There's still only a half game out. They're just as much in this as any other team in the National League right now. The Braves are playing bad baseball. The Padres and Diamondbacks, don't fucking worry about them. We got 6 games against those guys later this month. Literally
7.
don't care what's going on until we play them. 7. There you go. Beat them when we play them. Can't worry about them right now. The Mets have to win, like we said, 44 games, 26 games. You got to get to that 87 win mark. I think that is going to be the number to get you in the playoffs because the Braves will not continue to play this bad, despite that pitching being horrible this weekend. That's just the Colorado bullshit. Play better. And I think this team can play better. That's why I'm not DEFCON 5, the sky is falling, the season's over. Because if you were to say the season's over being a half game out of a playoff spot, like, you're the fakest Met fan in the world. We've had way bigger deficits. We've come back from way worse. This team is, I do believe in this team being a playoff caliber team. I am concerned about what I saw this weekend. I am concerned about the starting pitching deeper and deeper into the season. But the fact of the matter is this lineup is good enough and is talented enough to put this team into the postseason.
Easily. I think that is their bigger picture there too. When people were talking in like May when the team was totally falling apart and they were like 3 games out of the playoff spot, then it didn't matter. Standings didn't matter. Then it's just about
Correct.
stacking up wins. Now this is a battle. This is now a war. Like, it's us, it's the Braves, and sadly because we blew some games in this road trip, we also have the Giants, we have the Cardinals, and for some weird reason we have the Cubs. We're 1 game under 500 again, or somehow stay alive and are back in this mix. And it's just. I think we're better than those teams. Thank God in this road trip we had the game against the Cardinals. That kind of saved the day. If we didn't have that game, we would feel a lot worse right now, and it would be bad. But it's the crime of it is a missed opportunity.
Yes.
Because these were winnable games. Game 3 of the Mariners series got completely out of control. The tires fell off. The team looked like they weren't even actually there. It was bad. But the first 2 games were in. The Mets had legitimate opportunities to win those 2 games. Maybe Saturday, not really, because again, they didn't get a guy in scoring position.
Can't really
I don't
say
know.
about Saturday.
But Friday, you had men in scoring position. The game was 1-run game for a while. Like, every opportunity was truly right there in front of you. You just couldn't pull it off. And you think back of last weekend, losing those 2 tight games to the Angels that are just complete 50-50 games. Horrible. Even just winning 1 more of those games. Now you're a half game ahead of the Braves. Everything does feel different. But it's not. Nothing is over. The sky isn't falling by any means. Like, the best part about this rant is that it's a wake up call. It's a moment where this team right now, this team's on the plane right now. With everything we just said, they all know. And I'm sure a lot of them have maybe even said it out loud because this team seems to have really opened up their channels of communication after everything went haywire with Jorge Lopez, which I want to remind Mets fans, that's the last time the team got swept.
Yes.
This hasn't happened since then. That's why I was talking about this team being a team that's steeped in their runs. That's why I was also talking about the fact that momentum has now ceased for the first time. This is the worst we've played since that moment. This is only the second series we have lost since that moment. And the first one was last weekend. That's it. That's how good this team has been. That's how much good baseball they played consistently. So again, sky isn't falling, but something feels bad.
Yes, this is now the point where if it continues to happen, sky is falling officially after the Oakland A series.
That's yes. If and we have A's and we have Marlins. This could be either awesome
This is either
or
gonna
like
be a great
unmarked
6-day stretch.
catastrophe.
Yeah, it would
Yeah,
be like oh my god, holy shit, yeah, season might be over. What the fuck just happened? Because they are better than the teams are going to be playing in these next two series. Everything on paper says that they should take these series and it should be pretty easy baseball. Like the Marlins are awful. They're so bad. The A's
so
at
bad.
least have a couple major league hitters in that lineup, but they're also a awful baseball team.
Half the A's lineup is good, and half their pitchers pitch well half the time. If you
Yes,
understand,
like
yes, right?
which is why they have what 45 wins, 50 wins on the year. Like that's exactly how it happens. Is you play baseball half good sometimes, but like if you were riding the highs of the Mets when we were hot, you cannot be as down as a lot of people are acting right now. Again, half a game out. It's fucking loser talk and I hate it. But I think sometimes we do need a reality check as Mets fans because the media loves to perpetuate it. The fan base loves to perpetuate it. The idiots on Twitter most of the time that have any sort of following love to perpetuate it. It is really easy and really fun to get Mets fans into doomsday. We just tend to go there. We have PTSD. But at the end of the day, if the Mets just win games like they should, and looking at the schedule, a lot of winnable games, and they can like seriously control their destiny.
Of course, but you don't want to get into that.
No, I
What
know,
you
but
just said.
that's what I'm saying.
Don't.
Like
I
you
don't care
can
who's on the schedule. It's a lot of players that are play baseball professionally.
yes, but I'm just saying like you have the ability to control your destiny against teams that you should beat. And that's fine. I think saying teams that you should beat is fine. Shouldn't say easy wins. Teams that you should beat. Because
Yes,
if you're a good team, that's who you beat. You can control your destiny. I believe they can. Now, that being said, there were some concerns now on that road trip that I am a little bit worried about. One of those being Francisco Alvarez. He has looked
bad.
really bad. And it feels like one of those things right now where, and you said it earlier, hey, hand up. Is he hurt? Is something going on? Because he looks like a shell of himself all over the place. Like even defensively, I feel like he wasn't particularly sharp this road trip at the plate. It doesn't seem like he has any sort of approach whatsoever. He's really just all over the place, swinging the bat left and right, not making good contact. He swung at a waist pitch during the series, which that's like almost impossible to do. That's like Javi Baez level type stuff. I of course I love Francisco Alvarez. This doesn't change my opinion of him, but I am a little bit concerned of what we have seen right now because we need him to be better if we want to go on this run.
Yeah, he over the last about 3-4 weeks of baseball, he has been statistically one of the worst hitters in the league.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to think about. It's a hard thing to realize and understand. He's running an xWOBA right now, which is like an amalgamation of all the balls you put in play, how hard they were hit and where they were, and how productive they should have been. And it's on the lines of some of the literally the worst players in all of baseball. Like I don't even want to go through because I feel
No,
bad
no, no,
saying
no,
it.
no. Of course
Yeah,
not.
so
Never.
I'm just saying there might be something wrong, but also that's not like an excuse for anything else. Like if he's playing hurt, and you have to tell I am
Correct.
hurt, I can't play right now. That's a problem. Or if someone has team has to be like pull him aside, be like, is everything okay? What the hell's going on? Because it does at times for him seem as mental as physical, where
Yes.
he's swinging at the wrong pitches, and these are the kinds of things where a young player has to put their foot in the ground, decide what kind of player they're going to be and what kind of player they will be moving forward. And the league will adjust you. This is a smart baseball league. Everyone knows everything about every single other person. You cannot hide anything in Major League Baseball these days. Every single swing you've ever taken in your life, they have data on it. They know where your pitches are.
Chris
Here's
Coughlin won Rookie of the Year, was out of baseball in 2 seasons after that. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Michael Carter Williams too. I know we're talking about basketball, but it's like it's just mountain sports. Like you're not hiding. Like if you're not good at something, you will become exposed quickly, and it's happening right now for Francisco Alvarez. He didn't even play in the game on Sunday. We're still talking about it, but there was over and over again. He was taking poor at bats. He was golfing at breaking balls. He was letting fastballs go by him. Mets this series took a lot of fastballs that seemed like were very hittable. Didn't swing at them. Swung at the wrong pitches. Took the wrong pitches. It's just we're piling on Francisco Alvarez. We talked about him a lot the last few episodes because like there's actual things we can point to for him. Breaking balls blown away. He's
can't
having
do
trouble
it.
covering the outside. Pitchers aren't throwing him fastballs anymore. The other guys, I don't know what to do. What could possibly be wrong with Brandon Nimmo right now? I have no idea.
Well, I wasn't even going to talk about him first because, like, Brandon Nimmo, I'm shocked. I'm not concerned, but I'm shocked. I'm like, man, really? It's going on this long? Like, he's playing at a just garbage level. I think they mentioned on the broadcast the other day that his slugging percentage is below his on base percentage in this cold stretch, and that's like, oh, that's like almost impossible to do. And this was a guy who was going into the All-Star break hotter than anyone you could ever be. He was
The
Margot
sun.
Robbie. He was literally Margot Robbie, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, whatever it is. And since then, he has plummeted. Like his numbers now for the year have taken a major hit.
I mean, he might take it like really personally, not making the All Star game. Might have just
Gotta be
actually
tougher than that.
legitimately. No, I know, totally. Also, I just found a good stat about Alvarez. Between June and July, pitchers were throwing him about 54% fastballs in the month of June, about 53%, 52% in the year. In the month of July, 48%. And so far in the month of August, 46%. And that's gone with a breaking ball percentage that's gone from 33% in April to 37% in June to 43% in July. And
Yeah,
now
they
his the
counted approach.
percentage, yes, there might be like, let's throw this guy breaking balls. And again, from the other side, a team that just swept us, a team on top of the world, the Mariners. Julio Rodriguez, their phenom, their superstar, someone I thought was going to be an MVP candidate coming into the season. I myself played MVP bet on him. That was money I lit on fire. He can't even do this right now. He's having trouble adjusting to getting a steady dose of breaking balls out like low and outside. Baseball is so fucking hard, which is why when this team normally has ebbs and flows, we don't ever actually hold it against them because that's just how
No.
baseball works. Like we're going to talk about in a little bit if we even have time, but everyone's favorite media Marvel Buster Olney did a hate stat in Lindor. He has this OPS and wins and this OPS and losses. No shit, because the best
Yeah.
player in the team doesn't hit as many hits and losses as he does in wins. Fucking of course. That's because baseball's hard. You can't do everything every single day. It's not how this game works. It's never how it's worked. It's never how it will work. But as you said, there's troubling things that keep happening where it's like who's gonna click, who's gonna wake up, who's gonna bring this thing back into focus. The first time it was JD Martinez.
Yes.
He seemed to save this team the first time. He can't save the team again. We predicted the All-Star break and Pete Alonso was going to be the guy because this team had to get cold. They were
Yeah.
so good for so many months. I misspoke before, but they have only lost 3 series since Jorge Lopez threw his glove into the stands. Who's the setup man? The Cubs, and he's pitching amazingly
Yeah,
well
I
over the
know.
last
I
month.
know.
Again, I gotta say that, but whatever. They were playing. They had the best record in baseball since June 1st until
Yeah.
this weekend. Like that was a real thing. Like that isn't fake. That actually happened. But now it's not happening anymore, and they have to click back again. And it hasn't been Pete. I don't know if it's going to be Pete. Maybe it just has to be Lindor, but it can't be alone. I don't know where Nimmo's going to be. McNeil's doing okay. Vientos is cold again. Again, Alvarez is lost. Like somebody has to say, "Fuck this! I'm putting an end to it."
Yeah, like the one I'm more concerned with right now is JD Martinez because
This looks old.
he looks like an old man officially. Like it seems like we had that nice spurt. He's helped us out hitting wise, whatever he did. But his last 30 games, are you ready for these numbers?
Yeah.
They're really bad. 106 at bats, 41 strikeouts, and 106 at bats is pretty insane. He's walked 15 times, so that's going to come out to a K rate I think of like 36 or 37%, something that
What does
he's
math?
never really operated at before. 2 home runs, he's hitting
Um,
217.
he always operates around a 30% strikeout rate.
Not when he's at like the last year, yeah, but he also was hitting 300 last year when he was doing that.
Yeah, last year he had 30% strikeout rate. This year is 29% in the season. Like it's
Yeah,
that
but like,
he's always been a relatively higher ish strikeout
but
rate guy.
36, 37%.
36 bad. No, that's
A
untenable.
lot.
It's bad.
And
It's still
2
30 games, yeah.
217 average, 315 on base, 321 slugging. He's like
Mhm.
literally doing no damage at the plate over the last month, which that's also concerning too. Like he was brought here to be part of the middle of this order, be a big help. I think this is also affecting everybody else too because they're like, I want to pitch to JD Martinez. Brandon Nimmo's been chasing. Pete Alonso's not playing well. Like it's crazy how this team they either all hit together or they don't hit at all. And right
Yeah.
now they're in such that nobody's hitting scenario. And that's what makes it feel so much worse. Like end of the day, again, these 3 losses happen in April. These 3 losses happen in June. You're like, that shit sucks.
Well, they did.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like that shit sucks. Like it doesn't feel as important because there was like no playoff implication at the time. It's
Can I
just
tell you,
because of the fact that there's playoff implication, it feels worse.
can I tell you something funny about JD Martinez?
Give it to me.
I pause. I hate splits. I think splits are like kind of stupid because you need so many at bats to figure out splits, whatever. But like sometimes you put these things for multi years of players, you can just see things. JD Martinez last year in August, 604 OPS. Then he went down with injury. He missed the rest of the month. He came back towards the middle of September. 2022 in August, 600 OPS after 599 in July. 2021 in August, that was when he was amazing that year. A 786 OPS, but it was his lowest in any individual month of the season. Might be an August old man thing. Like that's
Just be
just kind of
tired.
what it is. It's the swoon. These are literally the dog days of summer. Like this is it. This is where you have to get tough. And this is why I am so impressed right now by the Diamondbacks and the Padres, what they're doing. The fact that they have found this insane level of energy that other teams can't seem to match, and they're just busting their ass. Like even again, this weekend, the Padres, even the last 5 games of the Padres, they went to ninth inning
Lose.
trailing every game.
Yeah.
But then they had a hero, Jackson Merrill, fucking 20,
King.
21 years old, Jackson Merrill. He put the team on his back and he hit big home runs. He got big hits and he won them these games. The team that wasn't even playing that well, but they found ways to win the games. And they found ways to shut the door when they were able to take the lead against the hapless Marlins. But you need at this time in the baseball season, you kind of need heroics. You need someone to come up and do something because you're never going to have the whole team being hot. The Mets having that was it was divine. Like that's not
Yes.
going to happen. Like again,
No.
that was like how the Rangers won a World Series last year, what the Mets
Yeah.
just did in June and July. Like that's amazing, but you got to time that right. It's just it needs something special. And then we found some stats that this actually might have been the worst 3-game series in Mets team
Yeah.
history, which is really scary to say. But
Terrifying.
Mets scored 1 run in 3 games. Everyone was talking about that. Mets also allowed 22 runs in 3 games. So we went on StatHead before the show, and we found we grabbed Mets 3-game spans in team
As best as we
history
could.
as best as we could. Not day the guys, but we know how to use StatHead. So Mets 3-game series where they allowed more than 21 runs, and then we sorted them by run differential, at least a 21 run differential. And in the team's history, this was the 28th series where they had at least a negative 21 run differential. And it surprised both of us that the worst series the Mets ever played actually was last year. And I think Mark and I both forgot it intentionally. I
Yes.
think we took a ice cream scooper and took that part out of our brain. Like we
Flushed
got
it.
rid of that part of the cerebellum. Like we lobotomized ourselves for most of the 2023 season anyway, for reasons that sometimes talk about in the show. Some things we will never be able to tell you guys, but a lot of that year's gone from our brains. Never going to be there again. So
No.
we totally forgot this happened. Last year, a year to the day, both from when we're recording this and when you guys listening to it, the Mets had the worst 3-game stretch in the history of their franchise where they lost 6-0 to the Braves, 21-3 to the Braves, and then 7-0 to the Braves for a laughable, a comical, a hilarious negative 31 run differential in a 3-game, 2-day span because that was part of a doubleheader as well.
But the caveat here is that those 21 runs that were scored in that one game, it was like off of Luis Guillorme and pitcher and bad guys who were hitting that were pitching. So we did a little bit more. And the reason why we might call this the worst series in Mets history is because out of the games that have a run differential of 21 or more, this is the only time the Mets have scored 1 run or less than 2 runs.
Ever, fewer than 2 runs. Because then the next one where the Mets only scored 2 runs, another one that I weirdly don't remember because it was the beginning of my senior year in college.
Lock
I think
it
I
out.
was just who knows what was going on here.
Ohio State football.
Mets had 3-game series against the Cubs. Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace. That was an amazing season.
RIP.
But 3-game series against the Cubs, September 12th, 13th, and 14th, 2017, where they lost 8-3, 17-5, and 16-4. Just to give you guys the box score from one of those games, I picked a 17-5 game just for fun. Let's see what we got here. The Cubs were
Walker Lockett on the mound.
The Cubs were blazing hot. The Mets actually even gave up 11 of those runs in the last 2 innings. So the Mets entered, and they scored 3 in the 8th themselves. So the Mets, oh my God, wow. Do you know who's? Oh, this is good. This just made me so sad. You'll never guess who started the 17-5 game for the Mets.
Walker Lockett.
No.
John Neese.
No.
Dylan G.
No.
Ooh.
You gotta think way better.
Way better.
So much better.
Jacob deGrom?
No. A little worse.
Zach Wheeler?
Worse.
Worse than Zach.
Getting warmer.
Getting warmer. Matt Harvey?
Yup.
Oh, nice.
And again, like this is a game where Matt Harvey, again, this Cubs scored most of those runs off the relief. Matt Harvey chased in the 4th inning after 5 earned runs, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. Jacob Rame was the one who gave up these runs. A third of an inning, 5 earned runs. Then Jamie Callahan cleaned it up. Shout out to Sandy Alderson, the classic 2017 trade deadline here. 2 earned runs to close that inning out.
That might be why I hate Jacob Rame in that game, honestly. That might be where it started.
This is real who's who of nonsense Mets. So Jose Reyes led off and he played second base. Nori Aoki hit second.
Nori Aoki!
As Asdrubal Cabrera playing third, hitting third. Gavin Cicchini pinch hit for Cabrera and the game got out of hand and struck out. Kevin Pilecki hit fourth and drew 3 walks. Juan Lagares hit 5th.
Jesus.
Ahmed Rosario hit 6th. He had 3 hits, 2 runs scored. Travis DeHaron, Matt Reynolds, Brandon Nimmo pinch hit in this game. And then Jacob Rame. Matt Harvey actually had an RBI.
It's honestly criminal that Travis DeHaron was playing over Brandon Nimmo in this game. That's insane.
2017. But again, at the end of the day here, every Mets fan can rest easy when you're listening to this on Monday, Tuesday, whenever you listen to this, that this may have been the worst 3-game series in the history of the franchise.
And you know what's great? It's over. It's gone.
It happens.
Get it the fuck out of here. I don't want to talk about this series after this episode. It no longer exists anymore. 0-0. We got to go 26-18. That's the magic number. Count it down. 26.
I want to do one more thing to wrap this series up. I did the classic tweet thing we steal from World Wide Wob, where it's like, hey, Mets fans, this is a safe space. That was an embarrassing sweep. Let it all out. How are we feeling? Got some good replies. Some
Ooh, read 'em out.
positive replies, but some really funny negative replies.
Good, good, good.
So this is from at blux279.
Legend.
It's the same crap every year, no matter who the managers or who the players are. All they do is choke under pressure. From at Reed Garrett Goat, I expected a sweep, but I'm more concerned about the offense. From this one who's been living in my replies, Ben Gamble's burner.
Oh,
Why didn't Ben
yes.
Gamble play in every game? He got on base more than Pete Alonso did in one game of the series.
Mariner legend Ben Gamble.
Yeah. And another one, like, I don't know if we can make the playoffs anymore. I saw this coming. We're facing a Stetson product and Logan Gilbert. That's always a major task. That's a funny one. I knew this would be a tough series. 1-run score. The shellacking tonight made it just embarrassing. Hopefully, the team gets much needed rest tomorrow. I can't wait to be back home. I'm a bit worried about them, but they have to show us what they're made of these next 2 series. I will save my judgment for them. I
Good.
think that's a good place for the Mets fans to start thinking about this because that is the key here.
Yeah, that is the key. How they look on Tuesday against the Oakland A's, because the excuses of the travel and this and that, it's dead now. They can't
Over.
use that anymore because the travel's over. It was terrible.
The travel sucks again tonight, I will say. The
For
Mets
sure.
are going to be landing in New York between 7 and 8 in the morning.
But
That's
they do
fucking
have
hell.
the whole day to sleep. They can literally sleep all day. They can spend the time with their family, play with their kids, go to Central Park, whatever they want to do. They can spend time doing whatever they want because there is no game on Monday. But as soon as they wake up on Tuesday, it's got to be lock the fuck in, game time, beat the piss out of the A's.
Yes. Luckily, I won't say that. The Jets players on the schedule, and the Mets do have the A's coming to town, but I think we're going to save the A's preview for a little later in the episode.
Yes.
I think now time to bring in Matt for the Matt Minute.
Got to bring in Matt for the Matt Minute. Let me go ahead and click him on in. We upgraded him. James gave him his hand-me-down microphone, the Blue Yeti from the old school days. No sock on it, though, this time. A little disappointed.
Sadly.
But
Yeah.
that's we're Hollywood now, so.
Of course. And Matt, it's been a while. We spent the day
Well,
together
first off, I'm
yesterday.
grateful for the mic. I did see you yesterday. Grateful for the mic. Have a
Mark
boom
and
on
I
it,
met
not a
in
sock.
person.
Yes.
Oh yes, did get to meet Mark as well. It was great.
Tell us what you
Want
got.
to dive into the offensive numbers since the All-Star break. Not good. So they're averaging 4.17 runs a game in those 23 games. Only 8 times in those 23 games have they scored 5 or more runs. If you get rid of the 2 like big offensive outlier games that were 15 runs against the Twins and the 12 runs against the Yankees, the number drops to 3.29 runs a game over 21 other games.
Bad.
That would rank second to last in all of baseball this year between the Marlins and the White Sox, which tells you about where that would be. Nimmo's hitting like a $150 with an OPS under 500 in the second half. And to back up what Mark said earlier, since the All-Star break, he's got a 284 on base percentage. His slugging percentage is 190. Alonso struck out like 40% of the time his last 7 games. Lindor has 2 extra base hits his last 16 games.
I hate the Matt Minute.
God, this is the worst Matt Minute ever. Is this Buster Olney? What's happening?
Brought you
Two
back.
more.
This is what you do to us?
2 more. Martinez is 3 for his last 24 with 10 strikeouts in his last 7 games. And Winker, I mean, I don't want to turn on Winker. It's been like 28 at-bats, but he's just confusing me because he's a good hitter, like a good Major League Baseball player. But like he's swinging first pitch in situations he doesn't swing first pitch. He's taking pitches when he shouldn't be taking pitches. And I don't know. It's just, I'm at a loss. That's where I am.
Yeah.
So
Me
are
too.
we.
Someone else just replied to that same tweet as I refreshed Twitter. And it says something that I didn't want to think about. Another thing I blocked out of my mind, but now it feels real. Ever since Senga came back and then got injured, it feels like the energy around this team has changed.
Major. No, 100%. Like that, from that moment, you could feel the energy sucked out of this team. They're like,
Totally.
oh, shit. Like they went from being like, our ace is back, just shut down the Braves, to, oh, shit. What are we going to do? Who's pitching for us? What's happening?
That's another part about this.
They had the 7-run inning in that game, too, which I was like going to potentially put in there to like try and make the numbers look even worse, but I wanted to go easy on him and not go too doomsday.
That was the last time Francisco Alvarez looked like he was happy. But that's the fear when your team starts to skid like this and you don't really have a good pitching staff because there's no stopper.
Correct.
Like we just had their best 2 pitchers pitch in the last 2 games and wasn't even close. No. They got bullied by pitchers who were actually really good.
And by a lineup that's not good.
But again, I don't think either of them got bullied by the lineups. Like Minaya just didn't have his command, which he does that all the time. And Severino actually pitched fine. He had like 16 swings and misses. Sweeper came back. He got the big strikeout when he needed to with Victor Robles, and then Lindor dropped the ground ball. That was a moment where it felt like the tide could have turned. But again, it comes back to the bats, especially because this team is bats. We need to win with our bats. Like that's supposed to be the strength of this team. That's how we're winning. We're a bludgeoning team. we're beating the piss out of them. That's not happening anymore, and that's why we can't figure this out.
No, it was a disaster. Again, I'd love to forget it, set it, forget it, move on. Matt gave us the most depressing Matt minute of all time. We'll be banishing him. We'll be banishing him back as we go to the media marvels now. Thank you, Matt, for ruining our day. No, you're good. You're good. Thank you. All right.
Matt.
Media marvel time. We haven't done one in a while, and then we will go to the Oakland A's series preview. Like we mentioned earlier, everyone's favorite idiot, Buster Olney, old Buster. The reason this whole started. He came back with a hot one. James, you want to read it out again for the people?
Yeah, I sent it to you today. Let me go find it. But first, I actually want to put my hand up on a media marvel myself.
I'll do myself too. I have one too.
Okay, before we get into the fun ones. So it was Wednesday or Tuesday evening, 6 o'clock, between 6 and 7 around then. Rainy day in the city. I was rushing around. I was doing a fantasy football draft at the bar with some friends. I had about 2 beverages at the time, which is, of course, no excuse. And it's definitely not enough to have made this kind of error. But a thing flashed on this TV at the bar. It said Billy Beane had passed away. I was like, fuck. Fucking love Moneyball. I love Billy Beane. I used to root for the A's like all the time when I was a kid, and the Mets were out of it. Reading Moneyball when I was a kid like helped change my whole perspective on baseball and even sports and just all this stuff in general. So I was like, damn, I was sad. I wrote like a nice little tweet about it, and then I put my phone down on silent, pushed it away, and was in the weeds. Fantasy football. I was looking at running backs. I was thinking about preseason stuff, and then I get a text from Mark. I got a lot of text from people because I clicked it. I was on Do Not Disturb, and I was like, I'm just gonna click my text messages out of reflex, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I had the wrong Billy Beane.
I have the text 609. Billy Beane died? Question marks. I'm like, nope, wrong one. Billy Beane without the E. Take your tweet down, brother. 30 minutes later. And he's like, I just did. Sat on there for what, a good 30, 40 minutes on Twitter.
40 minutes. I had almost 40 replies on it. I had a lot of people saying I was being insensitive, and I was like, I was just wrong. I'm really sorry.
This is not a bit. This is not a bit. I made a mistake.
Not satire. I fucked up. I didn't know about the E. And I don't know. It was bad. So I media marveled myself.
That's fair. And you know what? I'll media marvel myself too. We're not perfect on this podcast. We're pretty close, but we're not perfect. Of course, on my TikTok grind again, and I was blind ranking MLB teams at 1 through 10. And of course, the Mets came up late, and the only spot that was available was 2. And they went ahead of teams like the Diamondbacks and the Padres and teams that have, like, I feel like not lost since I made this TikTok, and the Mets have been losing, which is kind of insane. So hand up on me a little bit there too. Put him a little high, was riding the wave.
There you go. So us media marvels, and also Michael K for thinking there should be a new rule in baseball where your best player is allowed to come up in any situation.
Of course, yeah. When your best play, when you have 2 of the 3 best players in baseball, you'd be like, yeah, I would love in the 9th inning if Aaron Judge and Juan Soto could hit every time. I mean, what a stupid take. I've heard this before, and I understand the idea that there is an idea of you can decide every batter has X amount of at bats.
Yeah, because it's like basketball, where like last game, like Steph Curry has the ball, and we get to see him do something incredible.
Yes.
Like that's what you want to see in sports. But it's like imagine though if the Yankees had a situation where they were down by 1 run, and like they could send Aaron Judge to play against Jake Seager. That would definitely work out, right?
Oh, yeah, that would probably get a hit.
They'd definitely find a way to win that game. But I digress. So Michael K, of course, just he lives on this segment. But we want to get back to Buster Olney now, and I'm pulling up the tweet right now about Buster Olney because he just finds a way always, for some fucking reason, to just twist the knife and do anything he can in any moment to kill the Mets. Francisco Lindor is the Mets barometer, apparently. Per Elias Sports, that was bad. Lindor's OPS in Mets wins this year is 1,039, but his OPS in losses is 499. The major's only other qualifier with an OPS over 1,000 wins and below 500 in losses is Christian Walker. Okay. Thanks, Buster.
What a nothing stat. You're telling me that the best player on the team performs poorly when they lose? I mean,
oh my God.
Again, I'm not saying it's the same. I will not say it's the same because he's still having a phenomenal year. But technically speaking, Aaron Judge does have a bigger OPS differential between wins and losses than Francisco Lindor. Now that differential is going from almost 1,400 OPS in wins to 800 in losses, but it is still bigger. It is still a bigger drop. That's what happens. Crazy to think that when teams lose, their players play worse. Like, fucking no shit, Sherlock. This guy, he did it. He did it. Clap. You got it. I'm mad.
Good job, Buster.
We're talking about you again, but that's also why we created this, so we can talk about you and feel better about it. You know what I see? Francisco Lindor has 1,000 OPS and Mets wins. I heard this guy can't play in the big situation. He doesn't ever do anything to help this team win. Seems like he might be one of the best hitters in baseball and the Mets win.
Totally. And I think that, again, doing wins and losses is stupid because, of course, the by far the best player on the team is. It just happens if the team loses, he likely played worse, and the team likely won. So I wanted to go on Fangraphs and get splits for high leverage situations. And I have a list of players who have worse stats this year in high leverage situation based on WRC plus, San Francisco Lindor.
Ooh, I got one. I got one.
Give me one.
Bryce Harper.
Yes. Bryce Harper has a whopping 1 WRC plus in high leverage situations. That's a 1. That's infinite. 100 is average in the stats. So Bryce Harper is 99% worse than average. Adolis Garcia, -6.
That's really. It would be more valuable for him to not step into the box.
For him to not swing would be much more valuable. JT Realmuto, 15.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's bad.
Trey Turner, 38.
Yeah, and even Bryce Harper on the wins losses split, 1100 OPS and wins, 600 and losses. Whoa, crazy!
And Lindor's 500. Oh my God, 600, 500. Ellie De La Cruz, statistically right now, one of the best players in baseball. He's the most F4 in the National League. WRC plus in high leverage situations, 46.
That's good. What's Lindor's?
I'm still scrolling for Lindor. I'm just going to go until I find him. Jose Altuve, 57.
Good ball player.
Gotta keep going. Mark's favorite second baseman, Ozzie Albies, 60. Just gonna say it's more fun. DJ LeMahieu, 63, because I think that might be actually better than him for the season. So
I think that is better.
It's actually not that bad. Jake McCarthy, who hasn't made it out in 2 full weeks, 65 in high leverage situations.
Ellie De La Cruz is split. 1071 OPS and wins, 619 in losses. Like, this guy somehow finds a way to reinvent the wheel every single time when it comes to talking shit about the Mets, but he does it in the most like trivial way ever, where it's like, this is such a nothing stat. You're just gonna get the bozos who think this matters.
Anthony Santander, 35 homers this year, 75 WRC plus in high leverage situations, and then tied with Francisco Lindor, Matt Olson, 75.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, listen, 75 is not great. I'm not going to pretend like
that's
amazing.
Good. It's
I'm not going to pretend like it's amazing. If you wanted to knock him there, that would have made some sense. But
yes,
the wins and losses one really makes no sense. Dude, Gunnar Henderson, 1,100 OPS and wins, 644 in losses. I mean, we're naming the best players in baseball, and every single one of them has a difference of 400 to 500 points on their OPS, just like Francisco Lindor. Like, it's so stupid.
Because them not getting the hits in their 4 at-bats is why they lost.
Exactly. Oh, my God. The team played worse. You should inherently have such worse stats in losses automatically. Your team did not do enough to win the game. You did not outscore the other team. The only person I think I've seen that's weirdly has, like, almost identical numbers, and it's because he's, like, actually not from this planet, is Shohei Ohtani. His splits were pretty identical in terms of wins and losses, which is just a weird one.
No, do you know why that is? And this comes back to the original point. Shohei Ohtani probably is the best supporting cast in baseball.
That's true. Yeah, he has an 1,100 OPS and wins, 834 in losses.
Because sometimes Mookie Betts will get the hit, or Freddie Freeman, or Will Smith, or anyone go, Teoscar Hernandez, anyone, the other 6 elite hitters in that lineup will find a way to get the hit. Whereas these other guys who seem to be a little more important to whether the team wins or loses, like a Gunnar, like an Ellie, Judge and Soto to a lesser degree, it's not going to happen as much. So this is just a stat about how much help a player has, really, realistically to me.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Bobby Witt, 1,200 for 790.
Yeah,
like, you should have a big gap there. Francisco Lindor's goes lower, which stinks. What do you got?
Pete Alonso's.
Oh no,
796 in wins, 791 in losses. How's that even possible?
I don't even know.
What? Oh man, I think I just cost Pete like $30 million there.
Yeah,
or maybe we say it. Maybe we hope they hear that.
I was hoping for Pete in the last at bat on Sunday. He just hit a solo home run, but he did the opposite. He swung at 4 pitches outside the strike zone.
As my dad said, the worst at bat of Pete Alonso's entire career. If you closed your eyes, you woke up, you saw that, you go, this guy's getting sent down, right? Like,
if you were like, let's say you were like Croatian and you didn't know anything about baseball, and you were just happened to be in New York City on Sunday night, and you happened to be in a bar and you watched that bat, you'd be like, this guy fucking sucks. Like, why is he playing this game?
This guy hits fourth.
I think we just had to like make fun. Oh, I got a really good right now. Everyone's favorite player. He never does anything wrong. Luis Arias.
Oh, yeah. What's he? Oh, I can't wait to hear this. I love the slander.
OPS and wins, 828. OPS and losses, 565.
It's not even that great of an OPS and wins. It's like super okay. I mean, it's good OPS. Good OPS.
Yeah, it's good. Good OPS.
But compared to, in wins, he's like not that high.
This is a great one, too. His batting average, 315 wins, 244 in losses. We'll always find a way to make fun of Arias. So Luis Arias, here's a 3 home runs and wins, 0 home runs and losses.
I'll tell you what. If we're very much in it like we are when we come to that Padres series, I might do a Arias like hour. I might call it the Arias hour and just do a solo, just talking about how mid he is for an hour.
Oh man, no, Matt's boy waiting for us to finish up. He just liked my tweet from before live on the show. But all right, this has been a chaos episode. So I think now it's just time to get into the A series and give some people some stuff to even think about, talk about just before. And first of all, everyone enjoy the off day. Monday,
Oh
I don't
God.
want anyone here after. I want you to listen to this podcast, of course. I want you to get to the
Yes.
end of this podcast. We're gonna have another great 10 minutes talking about the A's.
Gonna give you
But
more information you ever need about the Oakland A's.
because we're coping right now. But after that, don't think about baseball. I want everyone to go for 4 straight hours. Don't think about baseball. Don't go on Twitter. Nothing.
James, rule: as soon as we get to the Hamptons, as soon as we get there, no Mets talk. No Mets talk until Tuesday.
Okay, so full day, no Mets talk.
Full day, no Mets talk once we get there
All right.
Monday. As soon as we step foot at the beautiful house.
Virtual handshake.
Virtual handshake. No
Virtual
Mets talk
handshake.
Monday. Midnight, we can talk. 12:01. We're
12:01.
right back. We're right back to it. And I'll have a lot to say. But you got to keep it to yourself.
Mets talk midnight. That's what we're calling it. Mets talk midnight. But this A's team is strange because I'm going to say
So
something
weird.
that you might push against. And I was saying it's going into last year, and I was way wrong on that. But
Yeah.
this team is kind of fun.
Here's my pushback is they're not. But Brent Rooker is fun. Brent Rooker on a winning team would be awesome. And Brent Rooker is an awesome guy. Shout out to him. He was a Golden Spikes Award winner in college. Never really got a shot with the Twins. Bounced around to them, the Royals. Like bounced around to a couple other teams. Finally, like everybody does, you end up in Oakland at some point. They've been playing him, and he's been one of the best power hitters in baseball. Got to interview him. Incredibly nice guy. And he was just like, he's a baseball lifer. He loves the game, loves the sport. And he replies to people on Instagram when they say, and Twitter when they're like, you blew my bet. He's like, like sucks to suck. Shouldn't have bet on me, brother. Like whatever it is. He's a really good ball player. He's definitely the best hitter on this team right now. 29 homers, 951 OPS. That plays every single place. That's not a ballpark factor. Nothing. He's a beast. The other guy that I think is fun on this team, because again,
fun.
the rest of it I don't think is Lawrence Butler. Lawrence Butler's a fun player. I had him on my fantasy team early in the year because his numbers were terrible. But at the time, he was still putting up crazy high barrel rates. A little secret for you guys. Look at the barrel rates over, especially barrels per plate appearance, not just barrel rate in general. Shout out to James for teaching me that. And I think in the second half, or even like since June, he's been one of the best players offensively in baseball.
Last 30 days for Lawrence Butler because he's been a man on fire since the All-Star break. We're almost exactly 30 days from the All-Star break right now. 319, 355, 664 triple slash for over 1,000 OPS with 9 home runs, 26 RBIs. He is, and 6 stolen bases on top of that. He's a freak of nature. He's 6'4", 215. He looks like a wide receiver. Yeah. He's cool as hell. He swagged out. He wears the yellow do-rag. He's got the dreadlocks coming out of it. He plays an active outfield. He's a Westlake Atlanta guy too, so the Braves have to be mad.
Born in Jersey,
yeah. I think North Jersey. South
Burlington.
Jersey, Burlington, yeah. I think I weirdly played a baseball tournament there when I was like 13.
Burlington?
For some reason, for no reason at all. Yeah, I was trying to really keep the career going. But and then past that, another again solid player in this team. He's not wowing you. JJ Bleday has turned himself into just a good ball player.
Remember the fall league? We saw JJ Bleday.
Yeah.
I think he's actually going to be a pretty decent ball player, like a way better athlete than we thought. And he has 33 doubles on the year. I love a double.
Because he's a guy who was a top draft pick from Vanderbilt. It just took him a little while. He on the 4th year overall. Just a solid 765 OPS. He's played every A's game this year except for 2, 117 out of 119 possible games, hitting third, playing center field. Just a solid ball player. And those 3 at top of the order, bang, bang, bang.
Well,
that's pretty good.
Don't forget who hits number 2 in this order a lot.
No, Rooker hits 2.
Oh,
yeah, of course. New York legend.
Miguel Andujar should have won Rookie of the Year over Shohei Ohtani. Never forget the idiots that said that. The conversation of Miguel Andujar versus Shohei Ohtani could go down as one of the greatest Twitter beefs of all time. Like, that's like, what's the meme where the little kids are sitting around? Like, someone needs to put out one where it's like Miguel Andujar is better than Ohtani. Like,
will the suffering ever end?
Yeah. So it's he's actually playing decent. He's not hitting for any power, so he's going to hit 2 home runs this series. But having a decent career, like he's now a Major League Baseball player for the rest of his career because of this.
Andujar did something funny where the last few years he said, "If I'm not going to hit for elite power, I'm not going to hit for power." So now he does like the Urias. He fully just sells out for contact, and he has a really high swing rate, but he never swings and misses. He never strikes out. He never takes a walk. And he weirdly started this in spring training. He had a 0% strikeout rate in spring training this year, and then he got hurt for 2 months. And he came back. He's again, like for the batting average people, it's 290 hitter. Yeah. He has almost same stats as Urias, 705 OPS, 290 batting average. Very fun.
Cameron's son is on this team, Daz Cameron.
Yeah, Daz.
Zach Geloff is a good ball player. He's struggling right now.
Last 2 weeks, he's back a little bit.
Yes, but his numbers for the year have been bad. that's just like kind of the process of a guy who like chases a lot, swings and misses. But
Yes, but also again, caution people. This A's team last year they got shit on
yes,
publicly, nationally, and they get shit on a lot because their owner is
garbage.
a motherfucker for lack of a better term. This is not a John Fisher podcast. Anti John Fisher podcast. That guy is stealing the A's from Oakland. Sad because that's a rich baseball history and a great baseball town, and he will not let them build a stadium there. He's a piece of shit. He's taking them to Vegas where they will have no fans.
The city denied it, but he won't fund a stadium. That's
Yes,
bullshit.
right. This team is only 2 games behind the Angels, and this team is only 4.5 games behind the Blue Jays. They just won a series from over the weekend. So they are not good, but they are not a laughingstock.
Like you said, they play baseball good half the time.
Yes.
And the real weakness though is their pitching. Their pitching is super hittable, super gettable. Who are we facing in this series? I'd love to know. Are we seeing Ross Stripling? Hopefully,
we luckily are going to see Ross Stripling
nice.
Tuesday night. Half an ace off. Paul Blackburn versus Ross Stripling.
Ooh,
Paul Blackburn's
revenge game.
City Field debut, which sadly Mark and I are going to miss, but we will. I can't go Sunday either. Damn, gonna miss Paul Blackburn's first 2 home starts.
It's tough.
Oh, that's such a shame. He's not pitching home again for the rest of the month. Oh, that sucks. But then Wednesday, David Peterson versus Joey Estes, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, now Thursday afternoon, Jose Quintana versus Mitch Spence.
Joey Estes, famously a part of one of the just most disgusting trades that we've seen in a while. Shea Langoliers, Christian Pache,
who's also Cusick.
Good. Yeah, he's a major leaguer. Shea Langoliers.
Langoliers good. He's gonna hit 30
Pache
homers
is
this year,
not.
maybe.
Ryan Cusick is not. And they traded those guys for Matt Olson, and Matt Olson is one of the best first basemen in the league.
Not playing that well this year, but
he's hot now.
Just to give a sense for the pitchers the Mets are facing, Ross Stripling.
Bad.
I don't think he really should be in the major leagues anymore. He had a really good run like 9 years ago with the Dodgers in the back of a pretty solid curveball. That was a long time ago. Joey Estes, is he in the Matt Olson trade too, or was he a different Braves trade?
He was the Matt Olson trade. That's why I brought it up.
Because they made 2 trades then. They also just handed him Sean Murphy. But
yes, for Manny Pena.
Yeah, Estes, he has a new sweeper this year. It's not terrible, but he throws a lot of very, very lackadaisical 92-mile-an-hour four-seam fastballs that hitters are slugging 440 against this year, with a 372 expected WOBA against them and only an 18% whiff rate. And then Mitch Spence is what?
No, keep going. I'll tell you in a second.
And then Mitch Spence is just like your classic A's guy. I think he's like in his late 20s. I think he just came up. He's got fastball changeup, and it's not really that impressive, but like he'll pitch you enough contact where sometimes the contact will find gloves.
Yeah. So before we talk about Mason Miller, because that's really the only pitcher worth a damn to actually speak about, former Met Alert TJ McFarland will be in the building. Shout out Buck Showalter, always keeps his guys around. TJ McFarland has appeared in 56 games, which is crazy to say out loud because he's for almost his entire career been a bad pitcher. And then Austin Adams was a Met in spring training. One of the first moves that David Stearns made, getting rid of Austin Adams. Sent him to Oakland. Austin Adams also, I believe, has the record for most hit by pitches in a season. I think he hit like 19 or 20 guys one year in a season, which is insane. This year, he's hit 13 in 40 innings. That's nuts.
Bro, so he is a pretty good slider, though. He throws a lot.
Nasty,
they also, Michael Otanias in their bullpen is not bad at all. Like he just sits 98.
Will
and
Klein throws 100 as well, too.
Yeah, 40% striker. Right there. Again, this team is taking like minor steps to becoming, like we said, not like laughingstock anymore. It's not even close to that. Like this team in a 7-game series would sweep the White Sox. Maybe gentlemen sweep.
Easily.
They body them. Yes. So this team isn't like Michael Otani is again 40% striker rate. There's 98 miles an hour. Like this team isn't a laughingstock anymore. They're just simply a bad team.
Yes, a team that we need to beat. And if the Mets play their baseball that we know they can, they will beat them. They play like they did against the Mariners, you're going to get a very unhappy, cranky episode at the end of that series.
And then lastly, which again, we have to talk about Mason Miller. He's the best. He's such a marvel. His story is crazy. There was an amazing thread that went around a few weeks ago that I think he's diabetic and he was like really giving him some health problems. He thought he wasn't going to play baseball anymore, and he came back, Gardner-Webb University, bounced around the minor leagues, got hurt again, got moved to the bullpen this year, and has now become one of the biggest stars in the league.
So I believe what happened was at Waynesburg University, that's where he started off. Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. I don't have a clue where that is. That's got to be somewhere near Pittsburgh. Feels like it. Oh, he's from Pittsburgh. Definitely near Pittsburgh. So Waynesburg University, he was only throwing, I think, like in the high 80s at the time. And he constantly felt like shit, and they didn't know what was going on. Turns out, diabetes. Didn't know he had it. They started getting him well. He started throwing harder and harder, went to Gardner-Webb, was really good there in college. And then his big showcase was at the MLB Draft Combine that I was at. And I've told you this story multiple times. I haven't told it on the podcast yet. but I was being a little baseball rat hanging out around there. I sat front center when they started doing live at bats. And this dude, Mason Miller, one of the few college pitchers that was at the draft combine that year, steps up to the mound, throws a pitch. And I'm like, whoa, that felt really fast. All of a sudden, you see every single scout that was at the combine file in. They're like, who the hell is this kid? They pull out the radar guns, 98, 99, 100. And you're like, holy shit, this might be one of the best picks in the draft. Shout out to me. Tweeted about it, Mason Miller Beast. And in the best picks after the first round video, Mason Miller for the A's. Top one, hit it out of the park.
There you go. Yeah, proud of myself. Heard you tell that story and then just saw how, because my numbers were in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
That's guy in every dynasty team. And I peddled him in trades left and right. But his average fastball velocity is 101 miles an hour. His whip is 0.8. For about 2.5 full months this season, his FIP was negative.
Yeah.
Which I don't know enough about that stat to understand how they could possibly
they
make
owe
sense.
him runs.
Yeah, they owe the team. He's scoring runs while he's pitching. Strikeout rate's 46%, which is still, I think, a little bit below where Edwin was in 2022. Just put that in perspective again, but just put that back there. He's the best whiff rate in the league. He throws the hardest fastball. He has the lowest expected batting average. He has one of the best hard hit rates against. He is a marvel. I hope we don't see him this series.
I only want to see him if he comes in for garbage time because they need to get him some innings because they're getting the break speed off them.
But then what? Again, they beat the A's. They beat the Blue Jays this series, so he just got his work in. Yeah, so hopefully we don't see him. But if you guys do see him, you'll be seeing something special. But hopefully you don't see him because we're winning.
Yeah, and if we do see him, the game's over. That's just how it works. Game's over. They win. A's win. We don't want to see Mason Miller. Anything else to talk about with this A's team?
We talked about Geloff. Max Schumann's just a little shortstop back there. Abraham Toro, who you guys heard last episode, our Mariners friend said they thought he was worst baseball player ever. So
also, they're never coming back on. 0-3, worst best series ever. TJ and Lyle, I like you. Don't like you that much. Get off this.
Absolutely not. But yeah, no, those guys are great. Just I guess they got back into first place. Good for them, I guess. Whatever. The Astros pissed on the Red Sox this weekend. But I think that's the show.
That's the show. Thank you guys for listening and watching. If you did watch us, drop a like on the YouTube video. Subscribe to the Mets'd Podcast YouTube channel. We do appreciate you. If you're listening, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. And if you want to follow us on our social media, at Mets'd, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, you can follow James on Twitter at
James_Shiano.
I'm Giraffe Nick Mark with a C. We will catch you guys hopefully for a very cheerful, happy, positive, none of this bullshit, good episode. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.
Thank you guys. See you next time.